Hello, and welcome to Learning Essentials Series 3 on distance learning and student engagement. On today, Learning Essentials will interview teachers and parents in regards to their perspective on student engagement and virtual learning. Teachers will share best practices and the best platforms for virtual learning, and parents will share their idea of a great virtual learning program. So let's go ahead and get started, and we're going to begin with our teacher interviews. Okay, well, welcome to Learning Essentials. Learning Essentials interview for teachers today. I just wanted to say thank you. We truly appreciate you guys taking the time out to share some valuable information with the audience. And so today we are doing the series, our series 3 on distance learning as it relates to student engagement. So I'm going to let my guests introduce themselves, and then we will proceed with the interview. Okay, Ms. Masters.
Hi, I'm Abby Masters. I'm a 4th grade teacher in Kansas City, Missouri.
Okay.
Hi, I am Garnetta Fair, and I am a high school teacher here in Phoenix, Arizona / community college too as well. So that's me.
All right. Thank you. You guys are both great, and I know you're going to come with some great expertise. So let's get started. Let's talk about how you guys engaged your students during the distance learning process. So we can start with you, Ms. Masters, and then we'll move to you, Ms. Fair.
It started off with a lot of playing around to see what worked best for kids and parents. And so we did a little bit of everything. But at the end, I really learned that the instruction needed to come from the teacher. It was easy to just upload some videos and find videos to teach it, but students were more engaged when the video was me talking, me going through the problem, reading the story, asking the questions, because it made it more comfortable for them and they liked hearing my voice. A lot of parents told me, we like the videos you made because the kids heard you and they liked your jokes and you showed your personality, and it made it more comfortable. And so I just felt like after we kind of did some different things, some trial and error, it really made it more engaging for them, for the instruction to always come from me, more personable.
Okay. Tell me, Ms. Fair, about you and your engagement.
Well, one of the things that I knew that I wanted to do was to keep students engaged. And I had to come from the perspective that even when I look in when I'm in my own classroom, my thought as a teacher is constantly like, how do I engage these students? How do I know they're engaged? So a lot of the tools that I used, of course, was I used Blue Button. And I just took some of the things that my students are already doing when they're on their cell phones and they're sending emojis to each other or things like that. That's how I started just checking for engagement and just making sure that they were able to respond. I didn't want it where it was like you said, Ms. Masters, it was just a video that you upload and then they just respond to it. So I had to think how do I get them actually engaged? So I started putting them in chat rooms. I would go in as a teacher in those chat rooms and to see their progress of what they were doing. I just wanted to make sure that I could get some response from them. I felt like it was important, again, for them to see my face, for them to hear my voice. And the parents thought it was cool to see my voice, to actually give that direct instruction and it coming from me and a visual of me, not just a recorded, sound of me, that they actually could see their teacher and see my smiling face, because I really, enjoy my students and I want them to see me too, so.
Okay, I think those are perfect, great responses. And so it kind of brings me to my next question. If you had to say, I had 3 great engagement activities, or these are 3 great engagement platforms that an educator could use to engage students, tell me, what would you suggest? What activities would you suggest for engagement, or what platforms would you suggest for engagement for students during virtual learning?
Okay.
And Miss Masters or Miss Fair?
I used one my kids really liked. It was Flipgrid, and they were able to answer questions and upload videos of their responses, and then they could respond to each other. And I started off very simple, like, tell me one thing you did this week that was really fun. And then they responded. And so just to get them into it. And then by the end of it, I would have like really multi-step word problems. Like, hey, you have this, this, and this. What would your answer be and why? And then they could go and use the same conversation starters we had in class. Like, oh, I agree with you because when I did the math, this. And they could respond to each other. And they loved making videos of themselves. And sometimes they got off topic, but they usually brought themselves back. I also use Play Pause It because the issue we came with a lot of our parents is they couldn't be available helping their kid from normal school hours. So I recorded a lot of my videos and put them on a program called Play Pause It. And then I could stop the video and put little questions in that said like, and they would answer, and it gave me their answers so I knew which skills the kids needed help with, but it was still interactive because it would stop, I would ask a question, and then I would go over that answer to the question after. And it was a way for me to still teach kind of in a live setting, but they could watch it whenever and interact. And then we used Google Classroom. That was our main platform. Everything kind of went through there. And so I used a lot of like writing prompts where they would respond to me and then respond to each other. Not necessarily like a writing skill, but hey, tell me something you've cooked this week or something you watched your mom cook. And then they would practice the writing process through Google Classroom. So those 3 programs were what I used a lot and I got the most feedback off of.
Okay, great. I really love that. Play Pause. I think that is like absolutely perfect for pre-recorded lessons.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Ms. Fair.
Hey, you've just enlightened me to some new platforms. So thank you for that. I've used Flipgrid, but the one that I'm most familiar with was Blue Button. And that's because it just allowed me as a facilitator to actually, give, like, say if I teach history, by the way. So if we were talking about something or discussing an event in history, I could do direct instruction. We could actually then, I could have the kids to look at that prompt or to look at what that question is about, and we could discuss it whole group as a class. So with the Blue Button, what I liked about it, because they can get in, they can check in, and I can say something, and they have to respond right away, whether it is a thumbs up within the program, whether it's an emoji, and then I could then say, well, let's break it down a little bit more, and I can put them into groups. So I like when kids are doing group work because it's a peer-to-peer type of interaction, and they seem to just love that. So I kept thinking, how am I going to be able to do that? So being able to put them in those rooms and have them to actually work on it, and then bringing us all back, and this is all in that one platform in Blue Button, bringing us all back together and not, within those chat rooms, and then us discussing. So the kids could actually upload, putting a little presentation together or putting their information in a writing format too as well. So then bringing it back, allowing that chat to go on so that they could actually help each other. Those are some of the things that I use. I also use Zoom, doing a Socratic seminar with my students, and again, them being able just to use that academic language, while we're all in like one Zoom room, like we are right now, and them being able to talk, assigning them numbers. And so if I put a prompt out there, then they can say, I agree with so-and-so, but I feel this way. So they already know, how they're going to discuss the actual topic. So I think Zoom helped me out a lot. We also use Canvas, and I think that helped to organize everything, as far as the kids were concerned, their grades and how we kind of put that together. So Canvas is kind of like I think like Google Classroom, because we also use Google Classroom, but Canvas helped us as educators to be able to organize it, and we could actually see like how long the kid has actually been on that day. So
those are 3 great platforms. Like, I think you guys nailed this part of the interview. My final question to you guys as teachers, because as a parent, it will be really important for me to know that my child is will continuously grow as they are participating in virtual learning. And so how will you guys ensure that your students, how will they continue to grow through the instruction that you deliver?
I think the big thing is making sure that you're still monitoring their growth.
One of the things I did, I established office hours and inviting parents and emailing parents to come into the office hours so I can be in constant communication with them about their student and about their progress too.
The teachers did a great job providing sound instructional practices for student engagement and solid virtual learning platforms that I think will be valuable to any distance learning program. So now let's take a look at the parent interviews that Learning Essentials conducted. So today I have two parents with me. And so if you want to introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Angie Lee.
Okay.
And it's a pleasure to be here with Learning Essentials today.
All right.
And I'm LaShonda Allen. Thank you again for inviting me. I feel that this is a very necessary conversation, so I'm ready.
Tell me about distance learning. What type of program would you like for your child to attend? There are several types of programs that are floating out there. One being like a hybrid model where they will be doing like some face-to-face, and then they will be doing some where it would be virtual. Then there's an all virtual model where they would do everything virtually. And then there's a model where it is self-paced. As a parent, which model do you think will be the best model for your child?
For my student, I would prefer the all virtual, simply because staying at home and then going to school, staying at home. I think most students are accustomed to structure, and that to me is not a very structured environment. In addition to that, you have to think about the parent that has to go back to work. So look at all the inconvenience that's going to cause that parent is trying to find someone to care for their child while the child is at home versus the days that they have to go to school and so forth. So for me in my household, the all virtual works the best. The self-paced, I really don't see a benefit in that because then it seems as if your child is teaching himself or herself. So I'm not in agreement with that either. And going back to school, all physically going back to school, I just don't think we're ready for that yet.
Okay, Ms. Lee?
My thoughts pretty much align with that as well. They're very similar. I do think I appreciate that the district is trying to offer choice in those virtual capabilities. I think that the hybrid model definitely is going to work for some students who, for example, who are in specialized programming where virtual options are not available, such as some of your CTE courses and things where they absolutely have to have that face-to-face instruction for specific classes in order to get the full realm of the program. So I understand them needing to offer some flexibility and providing that menu of options for hybrid. For my son, however, he definitely, as the other parent mentioned, he definitely needs the structure, and he can't go back and forth like that. He's not going to lean into that kind of learning. It's going to overwhelm him. And so I like the all virtual option, and that's definitely what we will choose, is the all virtual option.
As a parent, what are these are things that absolutely need to take place in order for my child to be successful in a distance learning program?
So one thing that I think has to take place is the structure, the in-person live teaching. And I think that we have to look at students cannot do that 8 periods a day.
So I agree with the structured learning environment where, of course, even us as an adult, we're not going to be able to sit in front of a screen 8 hours and you're able to engage us and keep our attention. So the block scheduling, yes, I agree with that 100% as well. But let's just take a step back and look at the teachers, because they've never been in a situation as such. Majority of them have, well, none of us have. So I think what the districts need to do is to make sure that they have that type of learning, so that they can be able to capture everyone's attention on that Zoom call.
I think that educators have to realize too that we need one platform. When you have students going between all of these different platforms to complete assignments and activities, most of which they've never been introduced to, we really struggled with that.
Thank you for joining Learning Essentials for Series 3 on distance learning and student engagement. If you would like to see the entire video for the teachers and the parents, it will be uploaded on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Learning Essentials INC on Facebook and on YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and Learning Essentials 2020 on Instagram. Again, thank you for joining Learning Essentials on today. Please join us on next Tuesday as we explore staff and student wellness as it relates to distance learning. Have a great day.